Tannehill is sacked. This time Dane Fletcher.
Hey.
This was the first down sack by Fletcher.
Let's see how you do under pressure. I've been wanting this shit forever. I've been in the field with whatever they throw at me.
Welcome to Fletcher's Unfiltered Podcast, hitting on all things fitness, business, and issues in Montana. First and foremost, I think I need to introduce why I am starting a podcast. And why I called it what it is Fletcher Unfiltered Podcast, is because it's going to be unfiltered. So that is my warning to you and your children right away. Maybe keep them away from this one because we're going to be unfiltered. We're going to let shit fly. So unfiltered, Fletcher's Unfiltered Podcast, keep them away. That is what it is. You might notice a bottle of tequila here. It's going to change up as we go through different episodes. Hopefully I can lock in an endorsement. Let's be real here. The only goal of mine out of this whole podcast, the editing, the setups, the sitting down with everybody, is to potentially get an endorsement from a tequila company down the road. Today, it is Casamigos Reposado. That's our tequila choice. I would give it a 7.8 only because George Clooney is part of the ownership of this, and I doubt he ever endorses me with his background in politics. But if he ever did, that might be in the 9s, and we could push that up. Jose Cuervo, if you ever endorsed this podcast, fuck, I could do it. It's just going to be really, really hard on me and my liver and my guest liver when we do this. But we could suck it up and we give you a solid 3.5 rating and move on from there. Okay, back into this. A little bit about my resume, which I'm not here about me. That's why I'm so excited to move on from just who I am. Is my resume is pretty simple. I'm born and raised in Bozeman. I went to MSU as a 3-time captain for MSU. That holds a lot on my shoulders. I'm very proud of that. And then I was an undrafted free agent in the NFL. I played 6 years in the NFL, 5 with the New England Patriots, 1 with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Buccaneers year was one to forget. The other 5 years in New England were all phenomenal memories for me. Fun team to be a part of. The stories I have of Belichick, Brady, Gronk, Edelman, I mean, the whole crew, Amendola, I just can't, Ninkovich, I can't not go on with how cool we were as a team, how tight I am with those guys still to this day. And we're going to get into that in the podcast, and we're going to get into that down the road. I'm going to interview different people, but the real basis of this is between fitness, business, and issues in Montana. I came back to Montana. These are my roots. I really do care about this town, where it's headed. And in 2023, I saw where we're going as a town. Yes, as a state. Yes, as a country. But really, all you can control is your town and do what you can. So in 2024, I made a priority of mine to get involved more tight-knitly in this community and band together and bring together people for attention that needs to be brought to in Bozeman. So I started an Instagram every Friday called Fuck It Friday. If you haven't ever heard of it, maybe check it out and just go back in the reels there. But I was calling out the facts of what's going on. I really didn't think that the news outlets around here were calling out the facts and stating what is truly going on in Bozeman. And if there was a crime, things were hidden, and everybody else, the general population, knew there was more underlying issues than what they're stating in, say, Bozeman Daily Chronicle or the major news outlets. So I had an issue with that. And then I saw what the commission was doing about it, and that was jack shit. And I would go to the commission meetings and I would plead to them that this is not safe. We don't know who these people are. There are cops in front of these campers almost daily. It's dangerous, and something bad is bound to happen. And it did. And bad things happen. And there's allegations, there's crime, there's everything under the sun that happens in these campers almost weekly now. So I joined this lawsuit, and trust me, it's not a win-win lawsuit. It is all based on holding people accountable. People being accountable, being the commission, the mayor, the leaders of Bozeman, to keep them to the standard that we are all living with our tax dollars. And so when I got middle schoolers walking from their middle school to my gym or to their neighborhoods, going home, they know that they are safe in our streets. You're seeing the crime rates. You're seeing them skyrocket in Bozeman. You're seeing what's going on, and nobody's doing anything about it. And so when we joined a group of us joined into this lawsuit together, It wasn't to make money. It wasn't to embarrass anybody. It wasn't to really do anything except for hold these people accountable for what they are doing and what they're not doing and who they really are. Because I'm digging in, and that really brought my attention on a lot of who our leadership of Bozeman is. And once I saw that, so that was the origin of why I got involved in this, is I'm nervous about our kids in Bozeman and where they're going to end up and how scary all this is with all these people that we don't know living in Bozeman are around, right? And then I dig in, I go to commission meetings, and I see who these people are. And I see how this whole DEI hire thing has really shaken out, and why are these people in these positions? So I'm watching, these young mayors now and these young commissioners taking over our town that are all from out of state. They have their own principles. They have their own, and their own principles being like, we don't know what the fuck their principles are. And so you're just seeing it's a DEI move. And then you look at the roots of who's endorsing them. And then you look at who's backing them financially. And there's a reason why our news outlets are not supporting the truth of the matter. So for a long time there, for over a year, I felt like I was almost the only person spitting the real truth of what's going on in Bozeman, because the Bozeman Daily Chronicle, well, they fund so-and-so's campaign for the commissioner or the mayor. And of course, when they're doing things like these campers, they're going to hide it. And you're seeing it. I backtrack and I see in real time what's going on. And yeah, I got an issue with it. And there's a lot of people that hate my guts right now. And there's a lot of misinformation out there. And there's a lot of people that are making up lies on the fact that I'm a Nazi, or I run some underground ICE agencies that are trying to capture illegal immigrants in the nighttime. And, I'm a bigot. I guess I'm a lot of things that I can't own up to, because that's not who I am. So I am going to have other races, other sexual preferences, and not just because you're black or you're Mexican or you're gay. That's not the reason why you're going to be on here, but it's because I truly want to understand your perspective. That's the beauty of what this is compared to my Fuck It Fridays. The Fuck It Fridays was just me blabbing on about what I'm seeing, what I'm hearing, the truth of the matter. Now I get to hear other people's perspectives, whether it is fitness, whether it's business, or issues in Montana. And that's why I'm really excited about this podcast and digging in. And who are you? And there's so many cool people of other races. I mean, I don't even feel like I need to get into that, involved in that, of like why. But here I am, just going down a rabbit hole, covering up my tracks for these idiots making up lies. One of the foundations of this podcast is fitness. I mean, that's my life. That's my backbone of how I've grown up. That's what got me to where I am today. And so I want to dig in on the fitness aspect. I'm surrounded by so many experts. I'm surrounded by so many people daily that just give me so much knowledge. And yeah, I have my resume that I don't really think carries weight, because I'm around a team every day of people in different fields that are so much smarter than I am. So to be able to sit down with these people and pick their brains and hear why we do things here at the pit, and the explanations of not just our programming and our phasing and our recovery and our nutrition, but it all comes into one, and how we look at each member that walks through these doors, because you can't speak in absolutes, as my coaching director, Neil, might say, is you can't just say, this is absolutely how you train. You can't do that, because everybody's different. And Karen from down the street, and she just had 2 kids. You can't compare that to another lady that had 2 kids. You can't do that, because everybody's body type is different. Everybody's been going through different things. Your hormones are different. So after 8 years of owning this gym, you evolve and you learn. And yes, I think strength training is important. Yes, I think conditioning is important, but neither one of those is the end all be all, where there's so many experts out there now. And these are social media experts, and they bother me more than anything. And that's where I want to dig in, is why do they feel the way they do, when you can't just put that staple on people? And you got to learn. You just got to get with the times. You got to groove with them. You got to feel out. Yes, you could get them on the in body. Yes, you can get their body weight, their body fat, and everything like that. But you cannot get them, 30 pounds less in 6 weeks like everybody's selling. And yes, it's a sales pitch. And trust me, when I started this gym, I was doing the sales pitch. Let's be very transparent. I needed to pay the bills. Luckily, we're in this gym so much further that I it's not about paying the bills anymore. I love to sit back. I love to watch the gym evolve. I love to watch my coaches, watch my dietitians, watch these experts just elaborate into their own world and help our community of members. And it's grown into such a community that I'm almost playing monkey in the middle now. And I'm almost just this guy that if you need an accountant, then I go talk to this guy at the 7 a.m. class and introduce them together. If you need to get your blood work done, then we have that here. If you need to meet with a dietitian, not your nutrition, not a coach that is self-proclaimed as a nutritionist. No, we have a dietitian. We have a professional that can write you a script, write you a meal plan, and get you what you need to do. I love to be around everything that I was around in the NFL, in that platform of the recovery, the training, the nutrition, the hormones. I mean, all of it. All of it plays in the blood work. You got to look at these hard metrics almost weekly, monthly, quarterly. You got to look at these things because they don't lie. So that's why I'm so excited to dig in on the fitness aspect, because there's so many people just with false information out there, and you can't do that. And let's have ourselves a little sip of Casamigos Reposado. What was that? What was that grading? I gave him probably a 5.2 by now with George Clooney. So that is what that is. And everybody knows about the NFL experience. They watch NFL Sunday Ticket, and they think that's kind of what goes into the NFL. They don't know how miserable Monday through Saturday is. I want to dig in on that and how many injuries I've had. I've had, I think, 15 or 16 surgeries at this point because of my NFL days. I want to dig in on that. Those are dark days. Those are really tough days to bring up, but you got to learn from that. And I've learned so much of what to do and what not to do and the reason why we train here. And I'm excited to bring on a lot of my buddies that I played with and tell stories, the Belichick stories, the Gronk. I lived with Gronk for 3 years. We had a lot of stories together. We went through a lot of shit together. Hernandez, I know that's a hot topic on Netflix. We can touch on that. You know, my boy Edelman. I have so many buddies on that team that we stay tight to this day. Edelman, Amendola, Shane Vereen, Ross Ventrell, Nico Kutavides. I got so many fucking stories and so many good people to be a part of that team and going to the Super Bowl. And that's what I want to just touch on as well. And let that be ride into this podcast. There's so many elements of this podcast to get excited about and so many different people and perspectives that we can bring to the table. But people understand or they don't, you know, if you don't understand, it's Sunday's showtime. Sunday's the easiest day. But you don't understand how Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you can't even get out of bed on Monday and Tuesday. Yet you got to roll out and you got to go into practice, do treatments from 5 a.m. till 10 o'clock at night, especially in New England under Belichick, and play under Bill and what that's like. And you never have a highlight in your life. You have lowlights. It's all lowlights. And me getting called out in the team meeting and how I reacted to that, which wasn't good. And I'll have a boy on that explains how not good that was. And Belichick calling me in the offseason, my first offseason, and then I got to cut my snowmobile off because I'm out fucking around and tell everybody to cut their, because that's highly, highly against my agreement. So there's stories to be told. There's so many good stories. And there's a necessity. There's a necessity behind everything that we do in these four walls. And my team knows it. I know it. I know that when I come to work on Mondays, how important our role is. It's not just to run a class. It's not just to program a good workout so everybody gets sweaty and tired and you can take good pictures of people. It's not that at all. It's so much beyond that. And that's why we take it so seriously. Yes, you have your training, you have your recovery, you have your nutrition. You have so much involved in that side of it. And there's so much beyond that. And then we've been working on this app for 1.5 years. And this app really hits home to me because I've lost 2 really good friends in the last 4 years. Each one of them reached out to me. Each one of them had issues. Each one of them was a little bit heavier than they should have been. And they wanted to drop that weight. And I carry that weight on my shoulders heavily because if I could have stepped up to the plate, provided the app that they needed to lose weight, get strong, do the things that we're doing here in Bozeman, they would have gotten ahead of or potentially gotten ahead of the problems that could have saved their lives. And so it was always something. It was always the reason wasn't there. I tried to get them an app. The app wasn't good enough. I tried to write up workouts. It wasn't professional enough. So I didn't get them anything. I was like, just go work out, go do that. And now I'm learning after my buddies passed, that's not good enough. And I'm not looking at these app platforms that are out there that they are good enough. They don't give a shit enough to dig in on who you are, provide that sense of community, provide that sense of family, even if you do live in Ekalaka, Montana. I don't even know. I don't care where you live. If you're not in Bozeman, we can provide that, and you still have a sense of family, community, and you're going to be training with everybody else along the way. And there's a 6-week on-ramp that you have access to dietitians, you have access to professionals, doctors, everything like that. You can do your blood work. There's so many aspects to this app that is beyond exciting to me. And talking about saving lives and, my buddies' lives, I know that this app could potentially save so many lives out there. And it might not save your life today or tomorrow. It's just like eating a cheeseburger today is not going to make you any better tomorrow. It's not going to kill you tomorrow, I guess, but it's sure as hell is not going to help you tomorrow. And then fast forward 20, 30 years from now, that cheeseburger is not going to help you. So how can we help you today to save your life in the future? That's how I look at it. That's why I look at our role. My role is it's do or die. It's very important. And you better come to work buckled up. And just like everybody else in the podcast world is telling you at the very end to like, subscribe, share to anybody you think that this is funny, valuable, anything like that. I guess I'm a podcaster now. So actually do the shit for me and let's see how this thing rides. And beyond that, I have a great lineup of professionals, everyday people, just really good people to sit down with that you're going to want to hear about. What I don't have is the far leftists that hate my guts that are calling me Nazis on the internet. I don't have you guys. I don't know who you are because you're internet warriors. If you do want to ever step up to the plate, just come and sit down with me. I promise you, as long as you don't beat me up, I won't beat you up. It can be cordial. I want to pick your brain. I want to hear really realistically what the fuck is going on, like how you think, how you analyze things. Explain to the rest of Bozeman, because I know the majority of Bozeman is in alignment with me on these issues that are going on. They're against what's going on. So if you want to be a little bit of outcast and you're brave enough, like step up with your little lady balls, step up with your big balls. Let's go here and let's sit down and cordially talk through some of these issues in Bozeman. And maybe we can agree on some things. Probably not, but I'm down.